So again, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here today in presence and in mind and in heart. My name is Kevin, and I'm so excited to be here with you to share what I've learned along my journey with and about water. So it all begins with awareness. You know, we only know what we know when we know it. And everybody in this room, and when you're watching this recording, you're taking a moment to really dive a little bit deeper into your awareness, because guys, awareness is where your transformation will begin. Again, my name's Kevin. If you have Instagram, I am on @expansion codes. And my real mission here is I help heart-centered beings cultivate new streams of abundance without losing spiritual alignment by expanding their water consciousness. And what is water consciousness? Well, that's a good question. That's just what I'm here to share. So like any other type of consciousness, spiritual, physical, it all begins with understanding and learning more and expanding upon that education. So why water? So water is the source of our lives, which is directly connected with our health. We are, in science, it says about 70 to 80% water. Spirituality is around 99% water. In the Bible, the most quoted word, the most utilized word is water. So when we start paying attention to the kind of water that we drink, we can actually have a greater influence on our health than any one thing. And when we think health, we really kind of only think of our bodies, right? And that's just the tip. That's just the beginning of the iceberg. What about our emotional health, our spiritual health? What about our financial health? And this is something that water is ready to be called into your life to help heal and to help expand. So again, science, this is what science tells us. Science tells us that we're anywhere from 60 to 80% water. Our brains are 83% water. Our eyes are literally water drops, 95%. Our heart vortexes 94% water of our blood. So what's in our blood is water. And that really will come into play when we're talking about alkalinity and why that's so important. So I want to just give a quick overview of some of the problems that we're facing right now as a society, as a culture, as beings. So in America right now, over 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. And that's chronically, guys. That's to a stage not including acute dehydration. And acute dehydration is, you know, a little bit brain fog. Acute dehydration is when people are like, I'm really hungry and I don't know why. Because that's actually because you're dehydrated. Maybe you're a little tired. It's not that you're tired, it's that you're dehydrated. These are all acute dehydrations. So how many of us in this room, maybe they felt a little tired, and what do you guys do? We kind of go for that cup of coffee, that green tea, that caffeine. When all the answer could have been is just a little hydration. What about inflammation, guys? Inflammation is such a vast issue with our health, with arthritis. And many people have this because our bodies are inflamed. There's too much fire in our lives. What about the produce that we're eating, we're giving to our families? There's so much pesticides on these produce, and that's including organic. Organic doesn't mean pesticide free, it just means oil based. And you guys know when oil and water, they don't mix. Well, that's kind of like running your produce under sink water. It doesn't pull off the pesticides. What about beauty products? What about all the chemicals that we're putting on our faces? Is it actually helping or healing our face, our skin? And our skin is our largest organ, right? When we start reframing our skin as a living, breathing organ, we start asking ourselves, well, what are we actually putting on and into our skin? And the majority of people are acidic, right? This means our bodies are in an acidosis state. And this is where our bodies become in dis-ease. And I'll talk more about that. What about low energy, stress, trouble sleeping, maybe some sickness? Who in the room has felt either low energy, some stress, trouble sleeping in the past week? Can you raise your hand? Yeah. How about somebody you know? Maybe low energy, they're stressed out all the time, trouble sleeping, sickness. 75% of the US people walking around, you're gonna have a new water lens when you walk around. So when you see people stressed out, low energy, and they're groggy, and they're moody, and they're kind of upset, guys, they're dehydrated. So it's not like, oh, you're a bad person. You're like, oh, you just need some good water. It's a real switch in mindset that you'll have. And it's a beautiful thing to share with people. And then we'll talk a little bit more about expenses too. And then those of us also who may be struggling with weight problems, right? Or exercise or keeping a consistent schedule, and how water can actually be a solution. So I really want to talk about right now is what is known as processed water. Again, this is what causes this vast amount of dehydration, is because this water that we consume unconsciously, it's all chemically operated upon. So our tap water, our bottled water, even reverse osmosis, it's all chemically operated upon. When we are talking about food, we're starting to see a major movement and picking up steam when people are going from processed foods, what we were sold for so long, to more natural, more living foods. We're starting to remove that process, those chemicals out of our foods. The next step, which is vastly more important than food, is water. Why? Again, guys, we are almost 60 to 80%, just depends on your age, percent of water by science. You know, we're not 60, 80% broccoli or, you know, alfalfa sprouts. We are water. We're water beings. And so about 95% of the water that is in our supply, that is in our human supply system, is acidic. And when we consume things that are in an acidic state, it causes us to be in that acidosis, in a state where our bodies are diseased, you know, not at ease. Anxiety, stress, trouble sleeping, these are all dis-ease problems. So tap water, we'll talk more about it. Bottled water, we're gonna talk more about it. And reverse osmosis, of course, we're gonna get into that. But I really wanted to frame processed water as really, really detrimental to our health. And this is just the science side of it, guys. I know we have such a beautiful spiritual community, and I would love to do another talk on the spiritual side of water one day. And I know Rachel would be such a resource to co-host that with me too. So let's take a look of what's in your water presently, everybody. This is for Noonan, Georgia. This is called the EWG, Environmental Working Group.org. And everybody, whatever I share here, I highly encourage you to fact check, to do your own research, to ask your own questions. When we start asking our own questions and start researching for ourselves, we take our power back. And by taking our power back, we start being able to educate ourselves and the ones that we love. So this is right now 16 total contaminants. These are the ones that are exceeding health guidelines. As you see these numbers illustrate the chemicals that are in your water presently. This doesn't include all the pharmaceuticals that they mysteriously find their way into your water. And I just want to take you on a quick journey of your water in your household. So some of you guys may say, I have a Brita or I have a reverse osmosis. Well, that's great. Do you brush your teeth with that? And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But what I really want to take you down is the idea of how water circulates in our modern era. So every time, say, you flush the toilet or you brush your teeth, the water goes down the drain. The water goes to a source, a main source. It's transported through a bunch of tubes, piping, right angles, left angles, breaking apart the water destroying it, adding all the chemicals along the way. Who knows who flushes what down a drain? That gets collected into the water. It goes to a central plant. A central plant adds all these chemicals in there to mitigate all the other things that are in there to make it safe for us. Do these numbers make you feel safe when it's 129 times the guidelines of something that causes cancer, 277 times, 302 potential effect, cancer, 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 cancer. We notice that there's a rise in cancer. What about all these cancer institutes that are popping up everywhere? That's really treating the effect and not the cause. And this is a solution that we can start identifying the cause of it and not so much the effects of cancer. Okay, so about bottled water. We all know that bottled water isn't the best, but we all know it's also better than our tap, right? So 50 billion water bottles are produced every year with a B, 50 billion. 80% of them end up in landfills. 10% end up in recycling centers. 10% end up in our environments. So ask yourself, where does 10% of that plastic end up? Rivers, streams, ends up in our ground, and plastic leaches. So it's not only the plastic water that the water like takes in the leached chemicals that then you drink it. It's also, it leaches into the soil. Not only poisons you, it poisons all the other beings on this planet that we're sharing it with. For a little bit deeper dive, if you guys choose to feel called, there's a few documentaries I suggest. One's called Tapped, and that's on Netflix. It's about a 12-year-old documentary, but it really still hits home. And it talks about not only the bottles, but also the lack of regulation, which shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. But what's more important too is like the natural sources of like, you see those mineral spring waters, those really locally sourced waters. So what happens, companies like Nestle, Coca-Cola, these large corporations, they come in to these small towns, these small springs, they steal the water, they bottle the water, and then they sell the water without ever giving compensation to the local population because there's no laws for it, or the laws have been written in their favor. And since this is a spiritual group, we all know that everything's energy. So what we give our energy to, our money, is what we're voicing our opinion on. So every time we spend $1 or $2 on that bottle of water unconsciously, we're contributing to this $50 billion gorilla on this planet. So we all know it's bad. This is why we're all bringing in these beautiful glass bottles. Those blue bottles are going to be spread across Noonan, and I'm already seeing it. I love those. Yeah, Rachel has a beautiful bottle, and yeah, check out those. Those are such amazing bottles to take your water. Okay, so you say maybe to me, you're like, okay, Kev, you know, I know bottled water isn't the best, but it's still better than tap water, right? I agree. I agree that bottled water for drinking is best for outside of tap water, right? If you had to choose. But let me ask you, what about what you shower in? What you bathe in? When the last time you took a bath? You saw those contaminants? That's what you're bathing in. Our skin, again, our largest organ, on average, absorbs 1.5 liters of water every shower. 1.5 liters you're consuming into your skin. What about washing your hands, doing your laundry, rinsing your produce? What do we give our plants and our pets? Anyone here have pets that maybe had some sickness, some health issues? What if it's the water? What about what you brush your teeth with? How about you clean your counters with? So there's so much more to water than just consuming it, right? There's so many other opportunities on how water could really expand your lifestyle. And so my thing, I really want to just emphasize, guys, I'm not here to solve anybody's problems. I don't have a cure for anybody. I can't claim any of that. All I can share right now is solutions that I found from my life, that I've helped so far over 52 families this year find for theirs. I can also offer testimonials of my community, over 250 people, and they've helped vast amounts of people. So if anyone's having trouble with diabetes, thyroid issues, skin problems, anything of these natures, cancer, there's somebody that we can connect you with that can share their experience. And let's get back into the science. So my question is, we talked about what's going on. Now let's talk about how, right? How can we improve all areas of our health? How can we help the planet? How can we remove all these bottled water? How can we get rid of these plastic, these chemicals, these pesticides? The way we can remove this bottled water industry is by taking our power back. How can we save time? How can we save money? How can we save energy? How can we conserve things and repurpose it to something more positive? How can we enhance our wellness, vitality, and spirituality? And that is what we're going to be talking about. So, blue zones. Who here are familiar with blue zones? Can I get a show of hands? Beautiful. Sweet. So, blue zones, there's a beautiful book that talks about what the longevity of the longest living populations in the world and what they have in common. And a lot of the food industry and marketing industry took that and ran with it with the Mediterranean diet. And that's great, right? Like, let's definitely decrease our consumption of meat. Let's focus more on vegetables and fruits, and a little bit more grains than starches, you know, better grains. So I'm all about that. But what they were missing out on was the fundamental thing that all of these blue zones have in common outside of certain diets, right? And it's water. So there's certain places on this planet that has living water, naturally occurring, structured living water. What that means is these are fountains of youth. There's 3 to 4 places: Tecate, Mexico; Lourdes, France; and Norndau, Germany; and also Okinawa, Japan. These 4 locations have these living springs that people line up for miles to fill up containers. This water is from the ground. It is from Mother Gaia. It is naturally structured and is what we are supposed to be consuming. How many of us here have access to Tecate, Mexico; Lourdes, France; and Norndau, Germany every day? Not many of us. What's really interesting is that if you guys are familiar with Magic Johnson, he's an NBA basketball player who is, I don't know how you would say it, but HIV was transmitted to him and he struggled with it. And what he did was he chartered planes back and forth from LA to Tecate, Mexico to fill up on this living water. So, and over years of this healing, he reversed his transmission. So if you guys have that opportunity to charter your planes to head down to one of these places, by all means, do it. But most of us, we don't have that opportunity. So I can offer you guys a solution, and this is why you're here today, of how to bring that structured living water into your own households. And guys, that solution is Kangen Water. This water, outside those 3 places on the world, this is the world's best water. I say that unequivocally. I say that from my heart, because what I've seen and what I continue to see. Again, do your own research. There's going to be a lot of people who are competitors who will say, I don't know, maybe you should go for this, you know, $1,000 machine because it's going to be, you know, the same thing. No. These are medical grade devices, guys. Medical grade devices. These are in over 6,500 hospitals across Asia. In Japan, 1 in every 5 households owns one of these machines. Anybody know anything about Japanese technology? This is a 45-year-old company based in Okinawa, Japan. And again, these are medical grade devices. Japan has one of the highest standards in the world to certify anything. And these have lifetimes expectancies of around 30 to 35 years. A lot of the ones that are first produced are still rolling in Japan. So Kangen Water, guys, that means return to origin in Japanese. Return to source. Return to that healing water. So now we're going to talk about what are the 3 scientific properties of this water that makes it so different. And Rachel's going to be helping me out with some of these. And we're going to first talk about absorption, though. Before we do that, let's just have a sip of water. Let's just get a little hydrated here. Yeah, if you need to stretch anything out, move your body a little bit, that's cool. Hey, Rach, are you doing the tea bag also with absorption? Maybe. Yeah, guys, if you need to take a little stretch break, no problem. Grab some more water. All right, then just give me a show of hands when everybody's back into. There we go, okay. All right, are we all back? Yeah? Class can resume. We good, Rach? Okay, so let's talk, guys, about absorption, right? So who here has drank maybe a big glass of water or two and they felt a little sloshy? Like, you know, that it sits on your stomach. Raise your hand if you felt this way before when you drank water. So the reason why, if you drink a lot of water, you feel a little like, ugh, is because the water, guys, is unstructured. 95% of the water, tap, bottled, reverse osmosis water, is all unstructured. What that means is the molecules are large. They're large clusters. So think of your cells in your body as chain link fences, the cell membrane around, right? Chain link fences. Majority of water, 95% of water, they're like softballs and tennis balls. You try to throw them through the chain link fence, they're not going to really penetrate your cells. And it's all about cellular hydration. That's real true healing, and that's real true health. The difference, structured water, like the water in the blue zones, or Kangen water, it offers full hydration. What happens is when it goes through the 8 titanium plates, it electrifies the water and it shrinks the molecules. It micro clusters the water. So you're going from this to this. You're going from tennis balls to marbles. So this is why when somebody has 1 glass of Kangen water, they feel instantly hydrated. 1 glass of Kangen water is the same as the equivalent of hydration of 8 glasses of regular water. 8. What do we hear every day? Drink 8 glasses of water, right? How many people actually do that? What if you're able to do that in 1 glass, have that same absorption rate? I'm going to share with you Oh, Rachel, you got that? Okay. So Rachel, do you want to give that demonstration about beautiful absorption? Or would you like me to play the video and then you do it? What do you prefer? You want to do it? Okay. I'm going to spotlight you. And so what Rachel's going to describe, and I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to let Rachel flow here.
What does it say on the look at it. So yeah, face it towards Rachel. We're gonna pay attention to what she's doing here.
Warm water is
Yeah, but why is it doing that? Because you're so close to the volume of the TV. So see, if we turn the volume down on the TV, then it won't.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
So we'll need to mute so we can hear Rachel or unmute somebody.
Into your cells. And with the Kangen water, it's smaller clusters, so it can penetrate and actually hydrate you on a cellular level. So the tap water, pouring this.
I got it. It's okay.
And then this one's the Kangen water. And then you can already see how this is starting to change already, and this one still doesn't have any. So this is hydrating this tea on its cellular level. So that's why you can even, I've so many times just steeped my tea outside in the hot sun in a glass with the Kangen water. And it works really well, you know. And it's green tea, so, you know. Oh, look at that. Oh, there's that. And it kind of gives you a visual of it or whatever. And then, Kev, do you want to go ahead and play the video, and then we'll.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take over. Thank you. So we're going to mute. And I'm going to go back to this. Yeah, so beautiful, Rach. Yeah, I'm going to pop back the presentation here. And we're going to watch a couple of videos. Just share screen. Let's go back to the presentation. All right. Can I get a hands in the air if you can see the screen? Woo! I love all y'all. Okay.
It's really important for athletes. It's really important for dealing with brain fog. And of course, with the detoxification, it's really important for losing weight and for feeling better, because toxins, we'll even get a little help there. Toxins sit in our cells, and you can't get them out with your water. What did my skeptical husband say? He said, well, that's not fair. The tea bag was already wet, right? But isn't that cool? That's showing you the superior hydration, better detoxification of your cells. But just so you know that we weren't you know, cheating, or it wasn't because the tea bag was already wet. We'll go back to the Dasani. You know how when you feel really bloated or your stomach feels really full and slushy with bottled water or tap water, you're drinking a lot of water? It's because it's sitting in your stomach and not actually absorbing into the intestines. To give you a little dose of science, the Kangen water, between the good alkaline minerals and the antioxidant, it can open your pyloric valve and go straight into the intestines.
Yes. So back the headphones in. So that brings up a couple of good points. One, that most people who go on diets, the first thing that they do is lose a couple pounds really quickly. And guys, that's all water weight. That's all, we call that water babies, right? We carry it around our waistline. So what happens when you start drinking this water, you start actually clearing out that water baby. You start releasing weight from that waistline. And why? It's, again, because it hits on a cellular level, whereas the regular water is large clusters and it can't penetrate your cells. So we talked about absorption. Let's talk about antioxidants. We all know that antioxidants are a good thing, right? Yes. So oxidation is rusting. So anything that has that oxidation property, it ages us and makes us feel pretty gross. So what we want to do is we want to flood ourselves with antioxidants. It battles free radicals. Free radicals are the things that cause disease. Those are the things that cause cancer. So what's so important about antioxidants and Kangen water? Well, it's the equivalent, one glass of Kangen water is the equivalent in antioxidants as eating 5 pounds of blueberries, eating 12 pounds of broccoli, or having 20 glasses of green tea. That's how much antioxidants are in each glass of water. And guys, it's all about molecular hydrogen. That's what this water can do for you. It's the strongest antioxidants. It battles the free radicals. Next up is we're going to talk about alkalinity. All right, we all know that there's this thing called alkaline foods, right? Alkaline water. So remember when I showed you that share about our blood's 94% water? So to have homeostasis in our body, our blood is at 7.4 pH. However, the vast majority of people are in an acidic state, which means that their body alkalinity, their body
So this one is tap water. This one is the
Are they coming back on? I wanted to look at the retail space.
this one's the Kangen water. We're just talking about water.
Yeah, the space you're looking for is. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so well, I'm gonna do the ORP reader first. So that's what this machine measures the negative charges and the positive charges of the liquid.
He's back.
Oh, okay. The negative charges and the positive charges of the water. So when it's a negative charge, it has high antioxidants in it. And when it has a positive charge, it's more acidic or it has more oxidative qualities in that. Does that make sense? Yeah. There's a lot more science behind it and I'm learning, but that makes sense to me. Okay. I think this comes off. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Let's do this bottled water. It keeps reading it that positive. This is the positive charge, and this is oxid. What's another word for oxidate? Is it just oxidative?
Oxidative.
Oxidated.
Mhm.
Well, this is oxidative water. Would you like some? Do I need? I guess I don't know if I need to neutralize this. This is
Yes, neutralize it.
By the way, I mean I already have Kangen water up there, but did I show y'all the number on there?
It was 2 bucks.
Can you see it?
Wait.
It says it's going up to 200.
Uh-huh.
That's a positive charge, that's oxidative
Okay.
stuff. Okay. And then this was tap water. Okay. So again, it's going up past 200. So that's oxidative. What do you think this seltzer is going to be?
Really?
I don't want to know. 407. That's a lot.
I don't want it.
Cow.
I told her beforehand I wanted it. I checked it on.
Okay, let's see what this tea is like. It's in the 400s too. Is it in the Kangen? This will read all the way up to about a negative 700 charge. So that's how, like he was talking about, 1 glass of water has the antioxidants of, what, 5 pounds of blueberries? Is that what he said? And then, yeah.
So what is that? Is that a negative?
Yeah, this is the
Cool.
Kangen. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I need to ask him how to, I wonder how to neutralize this, but I'm learning that too.
I think he can hear.
Oh, can you hear me, Kat? Oh,
Yeah.
do you know how to neutralize this? That's a Chris question, isn't it?
You use the 2.5.
Oh, that's a Kevin question. Okay, 2.5. So next time I'll rinse it with the 2.5 water. I should test the 2.5 too. Does that make sense though? I had no, I've never, I mean, I've done this with like my tap water and the Kangen water at home, but not with all this stuff. Oh, and then going back to the pH. So this is the pH liquid and it'll change the liquid, the color of what the pH is. And I'm just gonna, I'll put like 2 drops and everything. So, well, can you see that? 2, 4, 5. And then this is the tap water. All right, so, you know, it's a little bit alkaline, but
Look how blue it is.
it still has all of the chemicals in it, you know, and like that crazy charge. Let's see here. Nope. And then this one, should I even put it in the tea?
No, I don't.
No,
It's gonna, you're not
yeah.
gonna see it.
And then, I'm not sure. And that's the Kangen water. That is the, like, 700 negative charge and.
It's almost as blue as the bottle,
Mhm.
whereas that's more green.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah.
like what you
Oh,
want.
yeah, you can definitely tell. Yeah. Cool, that's interesting. Huh?
How pretty.
There you go. There's your fun time for the day.
Are you ready for Kevin now?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. That was awesome, Rach. Congratulations on sharing. Just stepping into your power every day. I love seeing it. So thank you. Let's see here. Okay. So yeah, guys, that's so impactful to, yeah, you can go ahead, Rach. It's okay if you want to sit down. To see visually, right? It's so impactful to see with our own eyes in front of us. So if the host would be so kind to allow me to share my screen, I will share my screen. So what you'll do is you'll go under participants or security. You'll go under security. And it should say enable. Can I... You can also go to participants. You can click on my name, and then you can also make me the host. That could be another way to do it. Beautiful. Good. There we go. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Let's go back to present. All right. So yeah, we just did the alkalinity. We talked about that. And I just want to share this, Rachel, this quick demo here.
If you look at the pH chart, it's about a 4, and then typically pop in and sports drinks are right in between a 3 and a 4 pH. When you got your Kangen, this is actually the 9.5 water, but the machine can make 8.5, 9, or 9.5 so that you don't detox too quickly. A fun little trick I want to show you guys is I pulled the Kangen water here. Let's say you've been drinking bottled water for a long time, and you're like, okay, well, how long could it take for the water to kind of help my body? Well, I drink Kangen, drinking the Kangen water. But you guys, sports drinks and sodas are so acidic.
Yeah, so they're so acidic, sports drinks and sodas. We all know that it's not good for us because of the sugar, right? But what about the acid? So it takes almost 20 glasses of Kangen water to counteract 1 glass of soda. So times that by 8. So that's 20, that's 160 glasses of water it takes to neutralize 1 glass of soda, regular water. Just to give you guys some perspective. So whenever you're seeing a loved one drinking a soda or you're about to pick up one, Just know what it's doing to your body and putting it into that acidosis state. So now let's talk about alkaline water, right? Alkaline water is becoming a really big fad. Who here's tried alkaline water? Raise your hand. Anybody here? Got a couple of hands, yeah. Well, so chemically, it's chemically changed, one. Let me put my headphones back in there. Next goes, oh, it's so random. Okay. So the difference between alkaline water and alkalized water. Alkaline water is a chemical change. It's chemically processed. Again, it's processed. If you look at the back of any alkaline bottle, the first ingredient outside of water is going to be sodium bicarbonate. Anybody familiar with the word sodium bicarbonate? Yeah, baking soda. That's their big change. They add baking soda to their filtered, life force removed water. And that's what reverse osmosis does, guys. Reverse osmosis takes out all, the bad stuff, but it also takes out all the natural stuff. So this is why when you see the bottled water poured into the glasses, you see it's so acidic. And that's why tap water is kind of alkaline. Well, so yeah, tap water has all those chemicals, but it also has some good things in it too. So you have to also ask yourself, well, okay, so if that's alkaline, it still has life force minerals, what's going on here? Well, so bottled water, which is 60% of the time, guys, bottled water is municipally sourced, which means it's from the government water. So it's tap water. You're just putting it in smaller bottles and giving it to you. Back to alkaline water. Alkaline water costs. What about the energy we're using, right? So we know that it's chemically changed. We know it's just baking soda. And at first, when I shared this with people are like, oh, I can just put, baking soda in my regular, filtered water. That's great, right? Absolutely. Absolutely, you can do that. Just be cautious because too much baking soda causes kidney failure, causes kidney stones, causes a lot of kidney damage. This is why you're going to start seeing people are like, oh, don't drink alkaline water because it's bad for your health. It's not that it's the water that's bad for your health. It's the vast amount of baking soda people are starting to consume because it's chemically changed. And it's around $2 to $3 per bottle. I remember I thought I was just knowing all I knew about water because I was drinking my Trader Joe's alkaline water. I knew what I was up. I got my 9.5 pH water. I know what's happening. And little did I know. Again, we only know what we know when we know it. So what we really want to do is we want to focus on our electrical change, right? We really want to focus on things that are changing at a molecular level. And this is what is called electrolyzed reduced water. And for anybody who may have a skeptical spouse, a skeptical partner, one of those scientific minds, and I know we all kind of have those in our lives, tell them to Google electrolyzed reduced water, ERW. You look at PubMed, and I'm happy to provide any of those too. You'll find countless amounts of scientific research sharing the health benefits for electrolyzed reduced water. Because why, guys? Again, it's electrically changed. And the cost, it's about 5 cents per liter. These machines last about 30 years. They have 5-year warranties, and you're not damaging with bottled waters. So we talked about all the drinking water, right? All the drinking and alkaline, da, da, da. All right, Kev, we get it. That's just the small part of this, y'all. The real mission of what we're trying to do in this world is to remove chemicals. What if I was able to tell you that this machine not only produces drinkable water that you've seen all those health benefits, the solution for better health, what if it was also, it could remove the cleaning products in your household? Guys, there's a 2.5 setting. It's called strong acidic water. The machine creates this. So you get the living water on a 2.5 pH, which kills bacteria. It's 10 times more effective than bleach. This is great disinfectant. You can have these little bottles. This is stronger than hand sanitizer. I don't know if anybody's been using hand sanitizer recently, but you have an endless supply in your machine that has no chemicals. Over 100 different companies right now in the US are being sued by the FDA, hand sanitizer companies, for putting in chemicals without disclosing. Again, there was this rush for people to buy hand sanitizer, so they flooded the market with anything they could. And now it's all catching up. What about mouthwash? Anybody here use mouthwash? 2.5. Rinse you out your mouth 10 times more effective. Strep throat, rinse with 2.5. Sore throat, 2.5. Again, this is water. If you drink it, it's not gonna, you don't have to go to the hospital, right? It's water. Actually, I had a friend the other day, I gave him some 2.5 because he had a wound. It's great for clearing out wounds and healing your skin. Again, it's living water, you're spraying, but it also has that disinfectant quality. He didn't know I gave him an extra jar, and I was like, fill up your, your spray bottle. It was lost in translation a little bit. And then he's like, oh, I drank it, and it was kind of like funny tasting. So he drank a whole thing of like acidic water, but he had no problem. If anything, it probably helped in some of his detoxing. Well, okay, and let's talk about beauty supplies, ladies and gentlemen, anybody who uses beauty supplies. People who have used the 6.0 beauty water, like in this bottle, right? It's refreshing on your skin, again, largest organ. It puts living water, healing water into your organ, your cells on your face. And Rach, if you want to quickly just share your experience with the beauty water, and then raise your hand after, just let me know to continue, or you can share it afterwards. Go to the machine later too, ladies, if there's not spray bottles right now. Put your hands under and put it on your face, your arms. You'll instantly feel. There we go. Yes, Rachel. It's so delightful. That's the best way I can describe it. It's so delightful to feel on your skin. It's a a hot day. It's just a nice cooling. So a lot of people who've used toners, who used beauty products on their face, concealers, all these things, with this machine, they no longer use it. Their skin's glowing, it radiates, and they just use water. Cleaning products, again, we can remove all that. I add a little essential oil to mine. So I have lavender smelling, beautiful cleaning products, no chemicals. I have a chemical-free household. What about laundry detergent? How much do we spend on laundry detergent? What type of chemicals are we putting in our skin? Has anybody ever broken out because of some sort of laundry detergent? You had a reaction, or your kids or somebody? Well, it's because all those chemicals that are in there. All you need to do is put that 11.5 into your water. It's an emulsifier, so it pulls off all the dirt. You throw that into like a cup of it, just a cup, into your laundry, into your wash with a little essential oil, so you have fresh smelling, clean laundry without any chemicals. Same thing with our produce. So if you use that 11.5, it pulls off all of the pesticides from your produce. So not only is it pesticide free now, but it also lasts longer. Has anybody ever had grapes and like there's that wax on it, so you eat it, and even if you wash it, there's still that taste? This pulls it all off, and your food, your produce, you save money on it because it lasts longer too. So, and I'm sure Rachel would love to share more about that too after this. What about pets, right? Who here has a pet? Can you raise your hands? Nobody has pets here? Nobody has a dog or a cat? Okay, thank you. We have pulses in here. That's beautiful. So yeah, pets, right? I'm going to share with you because we all know pets are intuitive, especially dogs, beings, but show you what a dog prefers. This is the Kangen Water. Okay, Brooklyn. Here, Ollie. Look at that quick double take.
See? Crazy. You see it? Yeah. You smell one, you went back to the good water. Okay, great, too.
Let him go.
Boy, you know what's good water. I don't want none of that crap with that chlorine all in it.
Yeah, so pets know, right? And we want our pets and our loved ones to have the longest living lives. What's really interesting about, with pets, especially with vets, I've been connecting more with veterinarians, and there's some beautiful holistic veterinarians that are implementing only natural remedies, including the water, with no pills, no anything. And they're seeing such drastic results. And I forgot to mention, this is a spiritual crowd here. What about fluoride? You guys ever considered all the fluoride that you're drinking and putting it into your body? We're the only country, or the US is the only country that has fluoride in the water. And we all know fluoride calcifies your pineal gland. That's your third eye, that's your intuition. This machine will help decalcify your pineal gland. What about chlorine? Chlorine is rampant in our waters. It's like getting in a swimming pool, but you're drinking it. Chlorine causes nerve damage. It's terrible for us. So I just want to share a couple testimonials from people on my team. And again, I have countless of these, but these are just some examples. Lauren was able, she had surgery scars, 10-year-old surgery scars that were flattened. Her digestion has improved. Intestinal adhesion pain is gone. Her skin's glowing. Her thinking is clear. Monique overcome IBS and eczema. She has a lot more energy throughout the day. My buddy Patrick, he helped detox his kidneys and colon, cleared his skin up. These deeper dreams. The 11.5 water, it's called dream water, right? Rachel and Blake tuned me into calling it dream water. Why? Because you take a shot of that before going to bed, it releases melatonin, and not only do you get deep sleep, but you have some pretty cool dreams. Like I've traveled some places with this water, and it's so beautiful. A teammate Marissa, helped her work through her emotional mindset, lack of scarcity within herself, within money, within relationships. Becca, her victimization mindset. She has really stepped into her own. She's really calling in her divine power. And also my friend Tony, he always felt like over-triggered, overreacting. And when he started drinking this water, he got into his parasympathetic state, which is that flow, that divine feminine, and he's able to flow and relax. What about cancer, right? Again, guys, do your own research. This is the American Anti-Cancer Institute. The 10 top products that they recommend for prevention is the following. Sure, you've heard of some of these. Vitamin D, extreme nutrition, and that number one up there, alkaline ionized water, and magic Kangen water. Number one. Oh, did I lose you guys? Are we still here? I got Donna's pretty profile face. Let's see. There we go. Okay, thank you. All right, last slide, guys. What's one of the great things outside of all these beautiful things? This is it. Everybody has access to this water. Everybody. Nobody is denied this opportunity. These are medical grade devices, y'all. So medical grade devices, they're in hospitals. This company is so integral that they have made these devices affordable and reachable for all. If Apple or Microsoft or some big company owned this rights to this machine, these would be $15,000 to $20,000 easily. Easily. Depending on the model, guys, though, it's from anywhere from $37 to $5,000. And I know, I get it, I've heard it before. That's a lot of money. It is, absolutely. That was one of the first blocks I had to get through myself. But what's beautiful about this is there's options. For those of us who see the value right away and they want to buy one or two, like Donna, she's like, oh, this is what I want. Here's my card. Let's go. Cool. She didn't try it. She knew. Then there's people like me who are like, yeah, my credit's kind of shit, but I really want this machine. Great. There's financing with Enagic. You put a down payment down and you have 2 years of payment like a car, but no interest. And that can range anywhere from 150 to 180. And then there's some of us with a little bit better credit, but maybe would like to finance it. We have a third-party financing, and payments begin at $45 a month. Go up to about 55. It just depends on your credit score. So again, guys, you have opportunities if you feel called to this. They're medical devices, so that means they're full tax write-offs. I haven't even dove into the opportunity about the business side. And that's if you feel called. 95% of people who purchase these machines, they enjoy the water, they share it with their community, and they may help 1 or 2 people a year, a month maybe also, in part-time, receive the abundance. Let me ask you this. After sharing this, do you guys know 1 or 2 people who would really benefit from this type of water? Could you raise your hand if you feel like you know 1 or 2 people who would really benefit from this type of water? Kind of smattering a little bit. No, everybody wants to keep drinking bottled water. Okay, there we go. And that's the thing, guys. And I can share more about that on another date. But there's an opportunity for you to receive this abundance, that energy back by sharing what we do. You can have this paid for by sharing. There's no additional fees, no nothing. It's once you purchase the machine, guys, you have an opportunity to expand as you desire in any of your fields. A lot of us are holistic healers. A lot of us have different modalities. Water fuses into you, right? So yeah, access for all. Everybody has opportunity for it. Rachel would be happy to share more on that. I can also dive deeper for you. But I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you for staying with me. I appreciate your attention and intentions today. And yeah, I'm so happy to take any questions that you may have right now. We'll open it up and yeah, we can flow that way. So I'll stop the recording now and then I'll allow any questions.